Namaste to all of you. Good evening, Shubha Sandhya, and welcome to this special webinar in connection with the 21st Foundation Day of the Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence. Morning, we had a very interesting, very inspiring, very thought-provoking inauguration, followed by the volunteers and the faculty meeting. And now we have this special webinar on following Swami Vivekananda steps. So I'm going to commence this session with the Institute prayer, offering our pranams to the Holy Trinity in the form of Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharda Devi, and Swami Vivekananda. I wish all of you would be concentrating on this very important topic and participate in this webinar with full devotion and faith. That is very important. I request all of you to switch off your mobiles and also concentrate, don't disturb others, don't be disturbed by others. This is also very important. Right? Okay. स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता ह्यः सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Harihi Om. Let us all pray for the well-being of all people, for the health of all people, for the peace of all people, especially during these pandemic times, during the infection times, which is spread all over the world. And in India, the number is increasing of infected people. But through positive vibrations and through our prayer, let us give strength and joy to the suffering humanity. Sarvastaratu durgani sarvo bhadrani pashyatu sarvasad buddhimapnotu sarvas sarvatra nandatu. Harihi Om Tat Sat. As part of this webinar, we will start with a bhajan, and I request our good friend and musician, composer, playback singer, and a wonderful human being, Sri Vedant Bharadwaj from Chennai. Vedant is our good friend, etc. He has been connected with me for a very long time with our institute also. So, welcome to Vedant Bharadwaj.
Namaste, namaste, Swamiji.
Was
Thank you so
from
much.
Chennai.
Yes.
Thank you. You can.
I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
All right. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Great. Okay. So I'd like to sing a song that's written by Mirabai, where she says she completely surrenders to Lord Krishna and says, "Bring my boat back to the shore. This boat is old, the river is deep. Please don't let it sink and bring it back to the shore." So this is a song of complete surrender. to Lord Krishna by Mirabai. किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी। नदियाँ गहरी नाव पुरानी, नदियाँ गहरी नाव पुरानी, नाव पुरानी, नाव पुरानी, नाव पुरानी, नाव पुरानी, डूबत नाव तराओ प्रभु जी, डूबत नाव तराओ प्रभु जी, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी। ज्ञान ध्यान की सांगड़ बांधी, ज्ञान ध्यान की सांगड़ बांधी, सांगड़ बांधी, सांगड़ बांधी, सांगड़ बांधी, सांगड़ बांधी, दौड़े दौड़े चले आओ प्रभु जी, दौड़े दौड़े चले आओ प्रभु जी, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी। कहे मीरा, मीरा, कहे मीरा, मीरा, कहे मीरा, गिरधर नागर, गिरधर नागर, गिरधर नागर, गिरधर नागर, कहे मीरा, गिरधर नागर, कहे मीरा, गिरधर नागर, चरण कमल बलियाओ प्रभु जी, चरण कमल बलियाओ प्रभु जी, चरण कमल बलियाओ प्रभु जी, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, किनारे लगाओ, नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी, नाव किनारे लगाओ लगाओ प्रभु जी। नाव किनारे लगाओ प्रभु जी। Thank you.
Vedant,
Thank
as
you,
usual,
Swamiji.
melodious, keep the flow, give
Thank
us
you.
the momentum to conduct the webinars. Kinare Lagao Prabhuji. And today our Prabhuji, we anchor ourselves in Vivekananda.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, following the footsteps of Swami Vivekananda. He liked Mira Bhajan so much. Sometimes he used to hum the songs in
Right.
his own bhava, in his own mood.
Wow.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much for a
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank you,
venue.
Swamiji. Thank
And
you.
be with us as much as possible in
Definitely.
the
Definitely, Swamiji.
times to come, the weeks to come.
Thank you.
Music gives so much soothing outside, so hot, so terrific, terrible times.
Yes.
And these bhajans, these positive vibrations are required for the society and the country.
Definitely. Definitely, Swamiji.
So take
Thank you.
care.
Thank you for
and
giving this
wish you all the best.
opportunity again.
May Vivekananda bless you, inspire you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
So that was Vedant Bharadwaj from Chennai. Now I request our volunteers to take over the session and conduct what exactly is Human Excellence Institute and what are we doing here.
The grand celebrations of 21st Foundation Day of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence was inaugurated today at 11 a.m. morning by Most Reverend Swami Gautamanandaji Maharaj, Vice President, Ramakrishna Math and Mission. The chief guest being Honorable Vice President of India, M. Venkaiah Naidu Garu, graced the occasion and spoke about the instrumental role of VIHE in shaping the lives of lakhs of students, government officials, doctors, lawyers, and other professionals. The welcome speech was given by Reverend Swami Gnanadanandji Maharaj, Adhyaksha of Ramakrishna Math, Hyderabad, under whose guidance and blessings all the activities of the Math are being carried out. Swami Bodhamanandji Maharaj, Director of VIHE, hosted the entire event. There was a song rendition by the volunteers of VIHE, followed by a video display on the activities and undertakings of VIHE. VIHE has rendered 20 years of tremendous service to all the sections of the society, and more than 18 lakh individuals got trained in the institute in various domains. Swami Ranganathananji Maharaj, the 13th president of Ramakrishna Math and Mission, sowed the seeds of VIHE in the year 2000. VIHE strives to foster all-round personality development of an individual, not only in one dimension, but in several dimensions, being physical, moral, intellectual, and spiritual.
Now I request the VIHE video, activity-based video to be presented by the host.
Anil.
Maharaj, I'll share it after Maharaj. I need to download it. It is in another laptop, Maharaj. Now I'll get it from that laptop. After one speech, Maharaj.
Okay, so Swamiji will move forward with the speaker of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, I request Manogna volunteer to introduce the speaker of the day.
Can you hear me, Akka?
Yes, please carry on.
Namaste, everyone. Today, marking the 21st year of VIHE Foundation Day, we have a special guest, a sincere follower of Swami Vivekananda's teachings and who molded his life with a single code of Swami Vivekananda, Sri Satyanarayana Raju Garu, who is currently an Indian Revenue Officer, Joint Commissioner, Income Tax, Visakhapatnam, pursued his MA in Hyderabad Central University. Sir's life is an inspiration to all youth to overcome their failures. Sir says Swami Vivekananda is his guiding force at every point of time, and he is a standing example of what we will become following the footsteps of Swami Vivekananda. His faith on Swamiji's teachings is a lesson for all the youth. We had the great privilege to hear Sir a couple of times before, and we are now again happy to have him in our midst to share his experiences. Without further delay, we graciously invite Sir Satyanarayana Rajgaru to share his experiences with us and inspire the youth.
Satyanarayana Rajgaru, namaste.
Namaskar, pranam. So, how much time, Swami?
You can speak 25 minutes, then we'll take some questions.
Okay, Swami.
Some questions, some interaction we can have.
Yes. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma swarupane avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Revered Swamiji and dear brothers and sisters or participants, good evening to everyone. Today Swamiji, I think tomorrow, he became the prophet of modern age 128 years ago. So with the ideals of Swamiji, with his inspiration, the entire country woke up. And fought against the colonial rule and obtained freedom. But freedom not only at the level of political, and he advocated freedom at the level of individual, spiritual freedom also he advocated. What are the footsteps of Swami Vivekananda? Swamiji, a couple of times he has expressed for what purpose he has come to the earth. What is his purpose of life? One of his favorite disciples, Sister Nivedita, when she asked him, he said, my motto is to preach mankind their divinity and to manifest it every moment of life. He said, this is my motto. And when all the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa followers and his co-brothers, co-disciples, and his all admirers, when they asked, he kept a motto to Ramakrishna Math, that is, Atmano Mokshardam Jagadhitaya cha. So these are the expressions of Swami Vivekananda, what is his path. Now, I would like to have a discussion on these issues. Atmano Mokshardam Jagadhitaya cha. This is a stanza from Rigveda. Swamiji fondly quoted so many times, and it became a motto for the entire Ramakrishna Math and Swamiji followers, even if they are not enrolled in the Math, but this is the motto he has given to everybody. What is the meaning of Atmano Mokshardam Jagadhitaya cha? For this, I will give a little background. The human beings are a special species on earth where the consciousness, levels of consciousness has reached that they have the individuality. There are other kingdoms on this planet. They are like mineral kingdoms, plant kingdoms, animal kingdom, and human kingdom. In the evolution, only human beings has the faculty to have an individuality, and they have the faculty to have wisdom, buddhi. Hence, human beings are, nature thought they are grown enough to mend themselves or to lead a path of self-realization to reach their originality or spoil themselves and are mineral. So Atmano Mokshardam Jagaditaicha. In fact, all human beings will have personalities. Our Vivekananda Institute, VIHE, Institute of Human Excellency, they always propagate, they always preach and train about the personality development. What is personality? Personality means swabhava. Swabhava means his nature. How many personalities, how many kinds of personalities we have? We will have generally very individualistic, beastly personality and animal personality, animal nature, and human nature, and divine nature. I will give a brief explanation of this. Beastly nature is only just like a without any human attitude, only an animal type. It always seeks for food, comfort, sleep, basic needs of the body. They don't think beyond body. This is all individualistic nature. That is called Visishta Viktitva. Means he is always catering the needs of body only. The second is little grown up, but animal nature. He takes care of his belongings also, not only himself, his belongings like his family, his near dear, and he protects them. That is called animal nature. In the beastly nature and animal nature, the consciousness of the human mind, that mind, will be always catering the needs of body. Body needs only. Food, sleep, sex, and other comforts of the body. When this nature, little grown up, they reach to the level of human nature. Human nature generally lives in logic and reasoning. For them, everything should be logical. Beyond logic, they won't grow up. They don't accept anything beyond logic. They feel everything is within the four corners of logic and reasoning. If something is not within the four corners of logic and reasoning, they reject that idea. They don't have the flexibility of mind to accept other possibilities to happen. As a result, they always analyze whatever is happening, they always keep thinking, they always be emotional. But they feel it is devotion. Emotion is not at all a devotion. I will give you one example of Swamiji. When Sri Ramakrishna was guiding the young boys of Calcutta, educated young boys, when Ramakrishna was getting ecstasy of spiritualism, everybody used to follow him and all used to get the ecstasy and getting tears and getting some emotional things. One day Vivekananda asked him, Guruji, I am not getting any emotional things. I am not getting tears. What is wrong with me? Whether I am having devotion or not, I can't understand. What is this? Then Sri Ramakrishna smiled and told him, if an elephant enters a small pond, that entire waters become disturbed. And it just like a cyclone in that pond. If the same elephant enters into the river Ganga, nothing will happen. Even hundreds of elephants even enter into the Ganga river, nothing will happen. You are like a Ganga river. And there, Sri Ramakrishna expressed that emotion is not a devotion. Devotion will not have emotions. In fact, inspiration is devotion. Emotion disturbs the mind. Inspiration distills the mind. Hence, devotion means inspiration, not emotion. Then Sri Swami Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda convinced that he is not emotional but devotional because he has inspiration, not emotions. So when the personality is at human level, human nature, Manushya Swabhava, they will have emotional attitude and everything they analyze, they keep reasoning. If it is not fitting in the reason, they don't accept and always lives in mind. When they are living in mind, mind always shows what is not there. Mind always discriminates. Mind always analyzes. Mind always calculates things. When you reach to the heart, these things will not be there. So, this is the human nature. When you grow up to the third layer, divine nature. In the divine nature, the main faculty will be working is buddhi, not mind. Means it is not mind, it is heart will work. The moment you reach divine nature, you will be with love, patience, purity, perseverance, and so many qualities of divinity. So, one has to develop his own nature from animal nature to human and human to divine. When the personality reaches the divine nature, it will become a transparent personality. Things which are inside, the light which is inside will be visible for the practitioner. So for this, Atmano Mokshardham, if anybody wanted to have a salvation, he has to develop his personality from beastly and animal nature to divine nature. When a person is in beastly nature, he searches for happiness. Happiness means where body and senses and mind are involved, happiness will come. When a person is at the level of human nature, he lives generally for joy. Joy is generally related to mental faculty. He enjoys good music, he enjoys good logic and reasoning readings, he enjoys some good shows where logic is happening. When the same person reaches divine nature, he will be in bliss. So, at the level of animal nature, it is always with Indriyananda, physical pleasures, happiness. At the level of human, he will have Vishayananda. And at the level of divine nature, he will have Brahmananda, otherwise bliss. So, when we have animal nature, we are with instincts, like basic instincts will work in us: food, sleep, sex, and only body needs. When you are at human level, your personality, you will have logic and reasoning. When you have divine personality, you will have inspiration. Inspiration as well as instinct look like same, but there is a difference. The difference is instinct will not have logic or reasoning, but inspiration accommodates logic and reasoning also. Inspiration also comes from inside, instinct also comes from inside, but instinct will not have any logic or reasoning. If you put a test to the instinct, it will fail for logic and reasoning. The same inspiration, if you put, it will pass the test of logic and reasoning. It means it accommodates logic and reasoning. That is a divine personality. So unless the personality has turned to a selfish seeking personality to a serving divine personality, one cannot lead the path of spirituality as well as the path of what Swamiji has advocated. Atma no Mokshardam. So for this, Jagadita Aicha. But these the two are not different. In fact, why they two are not different? You are not separate with the environment. You are not separate from your society. That we have to understand. Because in Bhagavad Gita, so many places it said, you are part of the system. Samam sarvesu bhutesu. You are, when the yogi has reached certain level, he will have the same, he will understand that samam pasyanti sarvatra samavastatam ishwaram nahi satvatma atmanam tato yati parangatim. So when somebody has reached the divine personality, he will understand we are not separate from the society, environment, and the world, because everything is whatever there in the outside, we will also have inside, and we are part of that. In the yogic practices, there is a test, a practical test, whether you are part of the society, part of the environment or not. Sadgurus and masters, they suggest the test to take. What is the test? This is a practical test only. I will give a little elaboration whether you are part of the environment or not. We have five elements. They are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So out of these 5 elements, only air onwards, air, fire, water, and matter we can feel. Earth, the ether, we cannot feel it because it is beyond. Means everything happens in that, but we cannot feel it. But air we can feel. So air born out of ether. Air is the highest level for everything to manifest. It means that is the source of fire, water, and matter. If anybody, anything which is around you, it will have its roots in the air. Whatever, if you have a laptop, if you have a table, if you have a room, if you have a tree, if you have a grass, everything, it will have the root in the air. Air next level comes down to fire, fire next level comes down to liquid water state, and again to matter. So the roots are there in the air for all these levels. If you want to understand anything, that will be in the air. So what masters advocate, whether you are a part of in the environment or not, they say you are also, your manifestation also coming from air only. Because of air, you are breathing. If you want to think that I am separate with all the environment, just hold your nose and wait how much time you can. Within maximum 1-2 minutes, the body will tell nothing doing, you are part of the system. This is the test they say. It means whatever you are breathing is nothing but the sum of the entire root manifestation you are breathing. Hence you are a part and parcel of the system. That is why in our scriptures says Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Why? Because if everybody is happy, you will be happy. If everybody is joy, you will be in joy. Nowadays, coronavirus also teaches the same thing. If some of our known people infected with the virus, obviously we will also get infection. So we have to pray nobody should get infection. That the message coronavirus has given. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. So that is why Swamiji advocated that Jagaditaicha. You have to do goodwill work for the world. For that, the entire Tathagata means the entire previous masters, beginning from the Brahma, next Manus, next Saptarishis. Everybody is doing the same thing. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says, Yajnardam karma anyotra lokoyam karma bandhana. You have to work for Yajnardha. Yajnardha means sacrificing way, not for yourself. Yajnardham karma anyotra lokoyam karma bandhana. If you work for otherwise, you are caught. Tadardham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samacharaha. For that only you work. That is the secret. Yajnardham kuru karmani. You work for others. You work for the world. You work for the surroundings. You will be taken care of automatically because you are part and parcel of that. If the entire environment is without coronavirus, we will also don't get the coronavirus infection. If the entire things are infected, obviously we'll get. In the modern age, in 2020, after Swami Vivekananda's passed away 100 years back, the virus has given the same message. You have to work for the welfare of others. Automatically, your welfare is inbuilt in that. You don't need to think for your welfare. If you are working for welfare of the others, you will get your share. For example, if you are working in a company, if the company is prospering very well, you will get your share without asking. If you start working for self and ditching the company or the system, automatically the works, the sum of the works, the sum of the karmas result into downfall of the company. As a result, you will lose your job. So the world and you are not separate. You are a same product. In 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Mattah parataram na anya kinchidasti dhananjaya maya sarvamidam pratam sutre maniganayava. Mattah parataram means other than me. Na anya kinchidasti dhananjaya. Even an atom is not there without me. Everything is me. Maya sarvamidam pratam sutre maniganayava. Everything is just like a garland. All the flowers are garlanded in one thread. Like that, everything is in me. How the thread is holding all the flowers, like I am holding everything in me. So we, you and me, nobody is separate, all are one. So the entire, not only humanity, the nature, environment, everything is the embodiment of the divine aspect, including you also. That is why in the Vishnu Sahasranam also, the first stanza says, Viswam Vishnu Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. The Viswame Vishnu. The entire universe is Vishnu. Vishnu means who has pervading principle. He is the everything. So, to understand the world is and we are same and one. If you work for the welfare of the world, it is nothing but working for your welfare. And this is what Swamiji has advocated. Atmano Mokshartham Jagaditaicha. For that, another extension of my discussion. Swamiji is a greatest philosophers. We are lucky to born after him. Had we born before him, we would not have listened to him. We would not have read his expressions, his teachings. We are so lucky, like how human beings are lucky to born after Lord Krishna. He has given Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji also has expressed in a fresh, in a modern way, the same entire Upanishadic thoughts, Vedantic thoughts for our purpose. He has given one excellent expression which I love every time I generally repeat to myself regarding the realization or spiritual insight, going inside. He said, it is very relevant for everybody. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, internal and external. Do this by work, by worship, by psychic control, or by philosophical discussions. One or more or all together and be free. This is all religion. The books, the temples, the rituals, and so and so and so, all are secondary in details. I want to elaborate on this a little bit. Swamiji said, each soul is potentially divine. It means every soul is divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity because it is divine, but it has some other avaranas. Avaranas means some kind of coverings, layers. So to manifest this divinity, he has given an excellent explanation. To control nature, internal and external, it is not easily available. You have to work for that. That is, you have to control your nature. Inside means your swabhava. Nature means swabhava. Outside nature means your environment. You have to work for that by controlling nature, internal and external. Do this. You can do this practice by worship, means bhakti yoga, by work, means karma yoga, by philosophical discussions, by means jnana yoga, by contemplation, dhyana yoga. Swamiji has written 4 books on this 4. One or more or all together. According to your nature, according to your jiva lakshana, you can adopt one or more or all together and be free. This is an excellent explanation he has presented to the humanity. It is beyond any religion, it is beyond all religions. It is a spiritual path, it is not a religious path. So why he advocated only 4? I want to give a further explanation for this. There are bahikaranas. We have bahikaranas, means instruments to experience the outside world. They are pancha indriyas, pancha karmendriyas, like that. Pancha tanmatras. In the same way, we have antahkaranas. We have only 4 antahkaranas. They are manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. So Swamiji advocated 4 yogas for 4 these faculties. Chitta means where the mind joined indriyas and engaged in a work. When a mind joined indriyas and engaged in work, that is called chitta. For them, he advocated karma yoga. So already you are in a work. There to manifest your divinity, you have to work as a karma yoga. Karma yoga means nishkama karma yoga. Without expecting the result, you work and feel that the work is divine. That is, work is worship. And when the mind is only doing sankalpa and vikalpa and it is emotional, then he advocated go for bhakti yoga. You have an emotional attachment. There are so many bhavas, mitra bhava, putra bhava, sakhi bhava, like that. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa advocated 5 bhavas for the bhakti. And if you are living in buddhi, it means you have viveka. You can discriminate which is good and which is bad. You have the discrimination will. Then he advocated philosophical discussions. There you can discard neti, 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 like that, and you can grow into the level of manifesting divinity. And another one is ahankara. Ahankara means not ego. Ahankara means, in Sanskrit, Ahankara means being separate from the whole. That is called Ahankara. The feeling of I am. When you have that feeling of I am, you can work with Dhyana Yoga. Swamiji has written a book on Dhyana Yoga also. He has written 4 books for Western Brotherhood: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga. These 4 related to our 4 Antahkaranas. Antahkaranas are the only instruments to experience the inner consciousness and to manifest the inner divinity. With Bahikaranas, you cannot manifest it. Bahikaranas only meant for outside experience of the world. Antahkaranas are meant for inside experience of the world. For inside experience of the world, these are the 4 paths, because that only 4 Antahkaranas are there: Manasu, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. For Manas, Bhakti Yoga; for Chitta, Karma Yoga; for Buddhi, Jnana Yoga; for Ahankara, Raja Yoga. You can adopt 1 or 2 or 3 or all together according to your suitability, and be free. This is all religion. I have not seen anywhere such a comprehensive definition Swamiji has given. So, this is the path. This is the only path. There is no any other path. Nanya Panda Vidyateya Anaya. Purusha Sukta says, there is no any other path. This is the only path. You have to work either with mind or with buddhi or with chitta or with ahankara. For this, they have Swamiji has given 4 yogas, and so many people have advocated. And in fact, Swamiji never claimed that I am the first person to speak all these things. He told whatever there in Upanishads, in Bhagavad Gita, in Brahma Sutras, only I am reminding you, nothing new. Even Lord Krishna also said that is the greatness of gurus. They don't say we are the first persons. Imam Vivasvate Yogam Praktava Nahamavayam Vivasvan Manuve Prahu Manu Rikshvakave Bravet. Lord Krishna said, this yoga is taught to the Lord's son. Then he taught to his son Manu. Manu has taught to Ikshvaka. And after that it was lost. It means the path of yoga, the discipleship. Yoga means union with the self. The path to manifest your self divinity, it is already advocated first to Lord's son. Then he taught to Manu. He taught to Ikshvaka. Then it came to humanity. So neither Krishna nor Swamiji, nobody claimed that we are the first persons to find out, because they are apaurusheyas. These people also like selfless. They don't want to claim anything. They don't want to take any credit for anything. I will give another few examples of Swamiji, how he is selfless, before closing my talk. Swami Vivekananda never thought he will go to Western world, he will do all this. He is a Dhyana yogi. He always likes to be in meditation. One day he expressed his desire with Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna asked, what is your interest? Then he expressed, I want to be in meditation 24/7. And sometimes if body needs, I should get some little consciousness and to have food and again to go to meditation. Then Sri Ramakrishna got angry. Got angry means literally he became angry, and he scolded him, saying that you are also selfish fellow. You did not come for that. You come for something else, to uplift the humanity. And he said, this is not possible. The human beings are suffering, and with a lot of ignorance and lot of problem in the world, especially with regard to India. So he told, you have to go and preach to the mankind about their divinity. With the same dictum, with the same order of his guru, selflessly he left his house. Though his need is very much at his home, his mother, his younger brothers, sisters, so many things, so many responsibilities. He weighed between the Guru's word and family responsibilities. And he thought, okay, my mother and my brothers may suffer, but the entire humanity suffering, my Guru ordered me, I have to. While he's leading his path, while he's doing his work, in one place in United States and again in United Kingdom, where he was in deep meditation, he is about to leave his body in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Then Sri Ramakrishna physically appeared, physically manifested himself and requested him and brought him back. No, still time is there. You have to wait. You have to be in the body. You have to continue your work. So then he thought, okay, it is going on. Then he planned a second visit to the European countries and America. And he has made a grand plans. He wanted to create a big, a spiritual movement in the world. So he's making so many plans. He was just 37, 38 years of old. All of a sudden, he got a call from his guru in the midst of grand plans. Your time is over. You can pack up. Without a single moment, without any hesitation, he told everybody, my time is over. My Guru ordered me to wind up my work. Everybody surprises. Swamiji, we are planning a grand plan. We have to go to Egypt. We have to go to these European countries. We have to go to United States. We have to start so much of big things. No, nothing is doing. Only Guru's word. Immediately he packed up. He came to India. He spent some time with his mother and gave some solace to her and given some security to her and took her to some pilgrimages. And he handed over, keeping a single rupee also. He has given a will of the Ramakrishna Matha. He resigned from all responsibilities, and within a couple of months, maximum one and a half year, he left his physical body. So that is the selflessness. This kind of selflessness you can see in our scriptures only in Hanuman. Hanuman, next, in our amidst, in the recent past, Swamiji. Total selflessness means total selflessness. Total surrender means total surrender. There is no any hypocrisy in surrendering. Some things we comfortably we surrender some things and we keep ourselves some things. He's not like that. Surrender means surrender. I felt so many times he is nothing but an incarnation of Lord Shiva. It means Lord Hanuman. So his life, his teachings, and his of what he said, what he spoke, what he did are the same and one. That is called Trikarana Shuddhi. He has that the highest Trikarana Shuddhi, and his path is also Trikarana Shuddhi only. Manasekam, Vachasekam, Karmanyekam, Mahatmanam, Manasanyam, Vachasanyam, Karmanyanyam, Duratmanam. When you have thought, action, and speech are one, you are called Mahatma. When you don't have this alignment, thought, speech, and action, you are Duratma. The path of Vivekananda is integrity of thought, action, and speech that lead to Atmano Mokshardham Jagadithaja. Thank you, Swamiji, for this opportunity. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Rajgaru. As usual, into yoga psychology, into Swamiji psychology, because you have digested, you have understood, you have applied those teachings in life. Can you tell our youngsters, some volunteers, some people who are seeking truth, who are aspiring for something higher, how did Swamiji enter your life? There's a wonderful incident in your life.
Yes,
and
yeah.
there's many new people here. I want you to just highlight that fact.
Yes. Actually, I was I'm getting romanchita when I'm speaking. It means I'm feeling a little bit emotional.
Yeah.
In 1993, I was around 16 years old. So I am worshipping Hanuman only. Hanuman is my Ishtadevata and Lord Rama is my Ishtadevata. So one of my friend, he's throwing Thus Speak of Vivekananda, a small book. Then
Yeah.
he told you were worshipping Hanuman. So I think I don't want these books. You can see. Okay, I read about Vivekananda in my 10th class social studies only. He is a social reformist. The book writers are useless fellows. They don't tell the real things. They tell he is a social reformist. So we also understood he is a social reformist, like widow remarriages, all these things. When the book is fallen in my hand, I was just 16 years old. Then casually I opened the first thing, the first dialogue. Strength is life, weakness is death. Somehow I got a current shock. Strength is life, weakness is death. You are the creator of your own destiny. Then immediately I completed the book, the entire book. Just it is a small book, pocket book. Within a 10-15 minutes, I could not stop. Then my blood boiled. Then I decided I have to follow the path of Swamiji. Then I applied privately for my intermediate, privately after that my BA. After that I joined Central University for MA. Then I appealed for civil services. I have not followed means I am not an admirer of civil services and all these things. The idea also came from Swamiji only. He only suggested me. Now also he gives me directions. If I ask not sincerely, generally I will have every day his Marana.
Yeah.
And I ask him, he gives some suggestions. That suggestions I follow. You don't believe one thing I will tell, because all these are those who have a little bit of faith and things on Swamiji and spiritual path. From 94 privately to my civil service exam, I used to get question paper before at least a week days in my mind. That is the help of Swamiji.
Okay.
I never revealed to anybody. I used to get some thoughts. This question will come, this question will come, this question. The moment I sit for meditation or some contemplation, Swamiji sends this question will come, this question will come. Without neglecting, without any doubt, I used to note it. I am not very clever man. I have failed my 10th class. But I am sincere to him. I did not apply my mind to him, only I surrender my mind to him. Because I don't analyze him. I love him.
Yeah.
So, with the help of Hanuman, with the help of Swamiji, I used to get, including civil service question papers. All the questions what I guessed, the questions only coming in the exam. That was a miracle. I did not share anybody because people won't understand. And I did not become a speaker except Ramakrishna Math or some Guru Paramparas. I don't speak because they don't understand the value of spiritual miracles. They may not understand also. That is why these are all personal things. How Swamiji helped means he caught my hand. I am not from any English medium schools. I am not from even regular schools. I am not from, I am nothing. He caught my hand and he made me a civil servant. Now also every day, evening before sleep, I surrender my accounts to him. I tell, if you have any work tomorrow, you get me up. Otherwise, I am not interested. I am totally giving all the keys to you.
Yeah.
Morning, when I get up, I pray Rama, Hanuman, Swamiji, and Sri Ramakrishna. Okay, you gave me again one day more. So the whole day, thinking, doing smarana with them, and completing my work, and handing over night. This is my regular activity since
Yeah.
so many years, almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
More than Swamiji, he came into my life more than 27 years. A single day I have not spent without his presence. Sometimes he appeared physically. Physical means I was with him whenever I have difficulties, whenever I have some problems. He used to come and tell. He used to tell the question papers of the question, including interview also. He supported me in the interview. Actually, when I faced my civil service interview, I'm not that much comfortable in English. One lady, Bengali lady, Arundhati Ghosh, she was a foreign secretary. She is a lady, means feminist and urban. I am a rural male candidate and without posh English. Then I asked Swamiji, what is this test? I am going to tiger. She will eat me. Then he told, you are not a criminal. You are working for a job. It is your right. Strength is life. Weakness is death. Don't look back. I went to my bathroom when I wearing my tie and coat and adjusting myself. I wept to Swamiji, why you have given this board? She will kill me definitely because I cannot speak posh English. Then he told, don't fear. Strength is life, weakness is death. You are not a criminal. She is not a police to harass you. Just go. With that, immediately I went, and I'm the first person to face the board on that day. Of course, he has given me 50% of marks, 150 marks. I landed in Indian Revenue Service. Had it been any other board, had it been some 180, my rank would have been in top 20, 30.
Yeah.
But Swamiji has managed. He has given me courage. He is my strength. This is the only thing I can say. He is my strength. But I seek all opinions from him. If that comes only, I will, next stage, I will do it. This is my relationship with him, Swamiji.
Now, what do you suggest now to the younger generation? What I feel they are going
Swamiji,
forward.
I suggest 3 things. Reading about not only Swamiji, any master.
Yeah.
That will purify our mind. The first thing. We have to read about the masters, about the Sadgurus. And praising and discussing their works. It will give courage.
Yeah.
It will give confidence. The second stage. First stage, if you read, you have to inculcate a habit to read. If you read, your mind will get purity. By reading, maybe Vivekananda, maybe Shankaracharya, maybe Ramanujacharya, whatever it may be, a Sadguru's life, a great person's life, if you read, you will get purity of mind.
I know.
The next level, if you discuss, if you thought about his works, you will get confidence. How a small Bengali BA person, like a mendicant, he went and conquered the world. He will get confidence to highest level.
Yeah.
And third stage, I advocate reading and discussing on their works. And third stage, you have to follow what they followed, how they worked for the world. You have to work selflessly. This is my suggestion. First,
Yes.
you read, then discuss their great deeds and follow the deeds. Don't stop at the discussion level. Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam.
Yes, yes.
Like that, we have to read maybe Vivekananda, maybe Shankaracharya, maybe Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, maybe any other guru. And then thought over that, then follow the work.
Yeah.
This is my suggestion, Swamiji.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice to hear. More than that, what people do now is appreciating Vivekananda. That has become one of the habits.
Yes.
Oh, he is great, he is this, he is that, and then they continue to do their life. But the connectivity, that symphony, that symbiosis into our life, personal life, that is what Swamiji wanted, that change, inner transformation.
Then unless you inspire,
Yeah.
by only praising, maybe you are marketing to get some name and fame.
Yes.
Because you want to make him a launch pad for yourself.
True, true.
Swamiji.
So, friends, if anybody has any questions, you can post in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. I will just unmute you. We'll just take 2 or 3 questions for today. Then later, some other time, we'll have more discussion with Satyanarayana Raju Garu. Anybody having questions, please? I'll just see, somebody has raised your hand. Surya Narayana Reddy Garu. You can unmute and ask your question. Surya Narayana Reddy, is there any question? Surya Narayana Reddy Garu.
Sir, please unmute yourself, Suryanarayan Reddy garu.
Surya Narayana Reddy disappeared. Then we'll have Navateja. Navateja, please unmute and ask your question. Navatej. Hemamrita. Hemamrita, any question, please?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah, what's the question?
Namaste, sir. Namaste, all the volunteers, and namaste to the beloved guest. And my question is that we face many problems and hurdles in life. But great people say that we should take it as a lesson. If we take it as a lesson, then how can we relate that incident to the Swamiji's life? I mean, the Swami Vivekananda's life.
What? Please repeat.
In our life, we face many problems and hurdles, right, sir?
Okay.
We should take them as a throwbacks and lessons in our life. Then how can we relate our life hurdles with Swamiji's life? I mean, Swami Vivekananda's life.
Yeah. See, actually, if you see your life stand alone, each problem will become like a mountain. A mole will become a mountain. If you see the problem in general, this problem may not be that much big. Some people may be having bigger problems. If you read not only Vivekananda, if you read the Buddha, if you read Krishna, Lord Krishna is the highest avatara. Not avatara, he's a God has descended as it is. He born in a jail. He has not seen his parents till 16 years. And he was always with enemies. So if we take a great person's life, it is not a peaceful path. Only thing difference between him and us, without any disturbance, without perturbing, they faced it. We, because we live in analytical mind, we want everything according to our wish. We want everything according to our want. That is why we are getting disturbance. Lord Rama said in Ramayana one great thing. There is expectation, there is a happening reality. There will be a gap between the expectation and the happening. The gap is called divine. Because you expect certain things with your available data, with your mind. But time has its own plan. You don't have that data. Your mind cannot visualize that data. So the plan of time, the happening is different. The plan of mind is different because your mind is running before time. Yogis' mind never run before time. They will be with time. Whatever happens, they take it as it is. It is a divine. But we, because we run before the time, suppose you are traveling in a train. If you run before train, what will happen? You will get tired. Be in the train of Swamiji, just board him, leave it to him happily. Be with the time. Be with the journey.
Yeah.
Don't run before the time. Our people, 99% of the human beings now are emotional. They run before time. They estimate everything for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years without the data of what time has its own plans. So there is a contradiction. In that contradiction, you will get disturbance. In good olden days, our elders, they never thought of this type of huge plans of future. They, whatever happens because of God. That is their thinking. That is why they have less disturbance. If you read great person's life, their life is not a very comfortable. If you read Vivekananda, at least, he struggled. He struggled for food. He struggled for, in America, he struggled like a, you cannot imagine. But what for? For the entire humanity. Then you will understand, okay, difficulties will be there everywhere. We have to face it. Only thing, if you expect more, because it may not manifest, you will get disturbed. Why you are expecting more? Because you are running before the time.
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful ideas, sir. Rajgaru, another question is there. How to accomplish positive, powerful mind?
Swami, just now I shared with you.
Yeah, it's just
Read good
reading,
biographies
analyzing.
and think over them and follow what they said. Not only thinking, reading.
Don't put your ego there. Don't analyze to nationalize.
Yes, Swami.
Okay. Lack of consistency. Modern youth have this problem. One boy says, lack of consistency is the biggest drawback of every failure. What is the best possible way of maintaining that consistency?
So, Swamiji, I would like to say here one relevant thing.
Yeah.
We should not have Daiva Bhiti. We should have a Daiva Preeti.
Yeah, very important. Very important.
Daiva Bhiti means fear of God is a beastly nature, animal nature. Fear is animal nature.
Yeah.
You should have God-mindedness, but not God-fearness. Those who that do not have consistency because they have a fear, but not preeti. If you love someone, you will not have a problem. I give a relevant Bhagavad Gita thing. Lord Krishna said, Shreyon swadharmo vigunaha paradharma swanushthitat. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. Lord Krishna said. Why the problem of inconsistency is everybody wanted to do others' work, not his work.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to imitate somebody without understanding what is his purpose of life. I will give a small example, Swamiji. If you go to a bus station, you are a traveler. If you know your journey, where you are traveling, before boarding the bus, you have to see the board where it is going. If you don't see the board, because the bus is very fancy and AC non-stop, if you board, you will go somewhere and you will realize later that my journey is lost. That's what exactly Lord Krishna said. Shreyon swadharmo vigunaha. Even that bus is not good. You board your own bus, even if it is a waste bus. But if it is taking to your destiny, you board it. Even if it is a good and fancy bus, don't board. Shreyon swadharmo vigunaha. Paradharma swanushthitat. Excellent bus, but it is not taking us to our goal.
Yeah.
Why do? Swadharme nidhanam shreyasa. Even if you board your bus and get accident also, people will appreciate. Paradharma swanushthitat. Don't board the bus which is not taking to your destination. Most of the youth, because of this problem, imitation of others, they are not boarding the bus where they have to travel. All are going to become some only fancy engineers, software engineers, or some, because even they don't like, they are not following their syllabus. They are imitating others. The all inconsistency, everything is coming because of imitation. Because of imitation, you will not get the preeti, the love for the work.
Yes.
It is not your nature. So one has to follow his own work. One has to board his own bus. Before boarding, he has to see whether this bus is going to my place or not.
True. Very important. It's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. I think we will. Just a small suggestion to all the viewers. Book. I don't think you have read this. It is called Vivekananda, the Man and His Message. The book is called Vivekananda, the Man and His Message, by his Eastern and Western disciples. It's a small book available in our bookshop and other places. It gives you a comprehensive idea, a very precise idea of what Swamiji exactly is. As a conversationalist, as an artist, as a monk, as a mystic, as a philosopher, as a yogi, and as a patriot, how he brought the changes, how he molded his character and helped the people around him. This is what you can try to work on. So we'll take the last part of this webinar today by showing the video of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, the activities down the years. And I thank on behalf of all of you, Satyanarayana Raju Garu for his time. There are a couple of other questions, Raju Garu. I will send it to you. You can answer
Yes,
by email or something, and we will
Yes.
forward it to the correct persons.
Swami,
Okay.
thank you.
So,
Thank you, Swami.
yeah, tomorrow we have Chicago Address Day Foundation Seminar Day
Yes.
celebration.
Yes.
Governor
Yes,
of
sir.
Telangana is the chief guest. If you are
Yes,
able
sir.
to join, if 1 hour you can try.
Because Swamiji, I have a small submission.
Ah,
We are not with Zoom being government servants.
yeah,
So
I know.
only we are accommodating. So I taken another mobile for this purpose, and after that I will delete the Zoom.
Yeah, President,
Because
Vice
we have
President
some
also, they objected.
suggestions from the government of India not to use Chinese products.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yes, Swamiji.
For them, I didn't know this. For them, we are using software. This StreamYard.
Webmail.
StreamYard
Okay.
software. కొత్తగా వచ్చింది.
Okay.
కొత్తగా వచ్చింది. అది వాడు- బానే ఉంది.
But anyway, I have I want to join this program, and I want to be part of Swamiji's work.
Yeah, yeah. Human excellence need you
If I give you opportunity, I will
as much.
sincerely do my best, Swamiji.
Yes, yes. Thank you very
Thank
much. మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. Yes, sir.
Namaste.
So over to our this one, our volunteer for conducting this video show, please. Anil, please take care.
Yes, VIHE has trained over 18 lakh students so far. So there are various courses offered in VIHE in training youth and also to all the people of various age groups. So here is a short video presenting and giving the viewpoint of what all activities have been happening over 20 years. So request the host to present the video.
Anil,
Anna, is the video being presented? Is it being shared?
Anil.
Or if there's a problem, Mahesh can do it. Mahesh, can you please
Maharaj,
do it?
video, are you able to see now, Maharaj?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Screen is on. Sound లేదా? Okay. Thank you very much. We shall end this webinar with a prayer to Swami Vivekananda and meet again tomorrow. Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukhaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Namaste to all of you. Shubharatri. Tomorrow morning, please be online in the YouTube channel of VIHE at 10:30 a.m. sharp for the Sampriti Divas and the Foundation Day celebration to continue. The Governor of Telangana and our Vice President Maharaj are the chief guests as their blessings from 10:30 to 11:30 tomorrow morning. And tomorrow evening at 4:30, we have a very inspiring, very thoughtful, very dynamic session on education in the modern age, new dimensions. The guest speaker is none other than Padma Shri awardee, Shri Mohandas Pai, who is the chairman of Manipal Global Education, who was the co-founder of Infosys, a academician, educationist, a national thinker, wonderful person. So don't miss the opportunity tomorrow, 4:30 to 6 o'clock. The special webinar is part of celebrations. And morning, 10:30 to 11:30. September 11th is a very historic day, very important day. All of you, please join tomorrow and make yourself blessed and our program a grand success. Thank you. Namaste.